Girivaradari Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradari Gopi Yashodanandana Vraja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Vraja Janaranjana Ira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradari Gopi Janavallabha Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradari Yashodanandana Brajajanaranjana Yashodanandana Brajajanaranjana Murakira Parachari Yamurakira Vanachari Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayet Nastafrayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttamashloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki Srimad Bhagavatam, Chapter 2, The Lord in the Heart, Text number 1. Shri Shuka Uvacha Evam Puradharanayatma Yonir Nashtam Smritir Pratyavarudhya Tushtat Tata sasarjedamamoga drishti
तथा ससर्जेदममोघदृष्टि
yatapyayat prag vyavasaya buddhi
यथा भयाघातव्यवसाय बुद्धिः
Shri Shuka Uvacha
श्रीशुकवाच
Evam Puradaranayatma Yoni
एवं पुरा
Nashtam Smritir Pratyavarudya Tushta
नष्टां स्मृतिर्प्रत्यवरुद्ध्यदुष्टा
Tata Sasajedam Amoga Drishti
तथा ससर्जेदममोघदृष्टि
Yatapyayat Pragyavasaya Buddhi
यथा व्ययाघातव्यवसाय बुद्धिः
Sukhovacha,
श्रीशुकवाच
Evam Pura Dharanaya,
Evam Puradaranayatma Yoni
Ashtam Smriti Pratyavarushya Tushta,
Nashtam Smritir Pratyavarudya Tushta
Advedamamruga Drishti,
Tata Sasajedam Amoga Drishti
Yathapyaya Pragyavasaya Buddhi,
Yatapyayatpragavasaya Buddhi
श्रीशुकवाच
Shri Shuka Uvacha
एवं पुरा धारणयात्मयोनिर्
Evam Puradaranayatma Yoni
नष्टां स्मृतिं प्रत्यवरुध्य तुष्टा
Nashtam Smritir Pratyavarudya Tushta
तथा ससर्जेदममोघदृष्टि
Tata Sasajedam Amoga Drishti
यथा व्ययात्तरागव्यवसाय बुद्धि
Yatapyayatpragavasaya Buddhi Shri Shuka Uvacha
श्रीशुकवाच
Shri Shukadev Goswami said,
Shri Shukdev Goswami said,
Evam,
Evam,
just in the same way,
just in the same way,
Pura,
Pura,
prior to the manifestation of
prior
the
to the
cosmos,
manifestation of the cosmos,
Dharanaya,
Dharaya,
by such a conception,
by such a conception,
Atma Yoni,
Atma-yoni,
of Brahmaji, Nashtam,
Nashtam,
lost, Smritim,
Smritim,
remembrance,
remembrance,
Pratyavarudya,
Pratyavarudya,
by regaining consciousness,
by regaining consciousness,
Tushtat,
Tushtat,
because of appeasing the Lord,
because of appeasing the Lord,
Tata,
Tata,
thereafter,
thereafter,
Sasarja,
Sarja,
created,
created,
Idam,
Idam,
this material world,
this material world,
Amoga Drishti,
Mogadrishti,
one who has attained clear vision,
one who has attained clear vision,
Yata,
Yata,
as,
as
Apyayat,
Apyaya,
created,
created,
Prak,
Pra,
as formerly,
as formerly,
Vyavasayaya,
Vyavasaya,
ascertained,
ascertained,
Buddhi,
Buddhi,
intelligence. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. Sri Shukadev Goswami said, formerly, prior to the manifestation of the cosmos, Lord Brahma, by meditating on the Virat Rupa, regained his lost consciousness by appeasing the Lord. Thus he was able to rebuild the creation as it was before. Purport. The example cited herein of Sri Brahmaji is one of forgetfulness. Brahmaji is the incarnation of one of the mundane attributes of the Lord. Being the incarnation of the passion mode of material nature, he is empowered by the Lord to generate the beautiful material manifestation. Yet, due to his being one of the numerous living entities, he is apt to forget the art of his creative energy. This forgetfulness of the living being, beginning from Brahma down to the lowest insignificant ant, is a tendency which can be counteracted by meditation on the Virat Rupa of the Lord. This chance is available in the human form of life. And if a human being follows the instruction of Srimad Bhagavatam and begins to meditate upon the Virat Rupa, then revival of his pure consciousness and counteraction of the tendency to forget his eternal relationship with the Lord can follow simultaneously. As soon as this forgetfulness is removed, the Vyavasaya Buddhi, as mentioned here and in the Bhagavad Gita 241, follows at once. What's the verse from Bhagavad Gita 241? Ikeha Guru Nandana Bahu Shaka Hinantascha Buddhayo Vyavasayinam. What is the translation? Loud so they can hear.
Those who are on this path are resolute in purpose, and their aim is one. O beloved child of the Gurus, the intelligence of those who are irresolute is many branched.
As soon as this forgetfulness is removed, the Vivasaya Buddhi, the fixed intelligence, as mentioned here and in the Bhagavad Gita, follows at once. This ascertained knowledge of the living being leads to loving service to the Lord, which the living being requires. The kingdom of God is unlimited. Therefore, the number of the assisting hands of the Lord is also unlimited. The Bhagavad Gita 13:14 asserts that the Lord has his hands, legs, eyes, and mouths in every nook and corner of his creation. This means that the expansions of differentiated parts and parcels called jivas, or living entities, are assisting hands of the Lord, and all of them are meant for rendering a particular pattern of service to the Lord. The conditioned soul, even in the position of a Brahma, forgets this by the influence of illusory material energy generated out of false egoism. One can counteract such false egoism by invoking God consciousness. Liberation means getting out of the slumber of forgetfulness. Liberation means getting out of the slumber of forgetfulness and becoming situated in the real loving service of the Lord, as exemplified in the case of Brahma. The service of Brahma is the sample of service in liberation, distinguished from the so-called altruistic services full of mistakes and forgetfulness. Liberation is never inaction, but service without human mistakes. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Girim Yatkripatamaham Vande Shri Gurun Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram Vanchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. The Shastras are full of extreme examples to teach us lessons. One of the extreme examples is the example of Lord Brahma. How he's the topmost position in the universe. What's the qualification to get the position of Brahma? It's such a high... Yes, Prabhu, tell us.
One has to perform his prescribed duties and Varnashama Dharma for 100 lives.
100 lifetimes of performing your Varnashram duties perfectly, and then you can be qualified to assume the post of Brahma.
But it's also said that the first life in the material world is a Brahma.
Yes, right. You first take, because you want to imitate the Lord. Okay, you want to be the Lord? Here you go. You're the Lord of the universe. Yes. So it's such a high qualification to be elevated to that post, let's say. If you're one of the living beings in material existence, it's who can do that? Sometimes the qualification is so rare that there's no one in the universe. Imagine, like you go through the whole universe, there's no one in the universe qualified. So Krishna, okay, I'll take the role. So Krishna, Vishnu himself takes the role of Brahma. So what's the lesson? Lord Brahma became confused. He couldn't figure out what to do. Yeah. With his vast intelligence, he was unable to execute his service. And so finally, he got indication how he could get the qualification. You need to perform austerity. Then he became qualified, and then he offered his prayers. And one of the themes in his prayers was, my dear Lord, in the course of executing my service, which is a big service, that's a position. It's not temple president, temple commander, president of a country, president of a planet, emperor of a planet. No, it's the boss of the universe. You're creating everything. You're the one that the demigods themselves come to when they have trouble. The demigods are perplexed by some circumstance. They look, let's go to Brahma. He'll solve the problem because he's so incredibly intelligent, so qualified. And one of the themes in his prayers is, my dear Lord, in the course of executing my seva, don't let me become bewildered with the idea that it's me who's doing it. So the point is, if even Brahma, what to speak of everyone else, right? If even he's subject to that possibility of becoming illusioned by false ego, ahankara, thinking, it is me, I am the doer. Yes? It's like I went on Sankirtan yesterday and I cracked the code. I'm imagining I cracked the code. That's what I need to tell people. I'll use this line from now on. That's the code. Nonsense, huh? Nonsense. The only code is one simple thing. I'm a humble servant and Krishna is the controller and he decides what's going to happen. Yes, everything is under his control and my position is I'm going to do my best as a servant. That's the code right there. But the false ego always wants to take credit. Oh, did you see what you just did? How you spoke so wonderfully to those people. And they took a book based on how you led a kirtan, how you gave a class, how you decorated the deities, how you did a multitude of things, how you achieved something in material existence. Everyone is walking around imagining they've accomplished, they've done it. And so Krishna, he's trying to bring the souls back to Godhead. So the souls that are not interested in going back to God, he allows them to live in their ignorance, in their illusion. And they walk around for their whole life, for the second life, for 1,000,000 lives, thinking, I'm the doer, I'm accomplishing all these things. And they never learn the lesson because education is voluntary. The material world is perfectly designed to educate the souls through the process of karma. Yes? And through the process of just the troubles we go through and the lessons that are offered in the course of living in the material world. But education is voluntary. The teacher can be excellent, but if the student is snoozing at the table, nodding off, doesn't matter how good the teacher is. The student will never learn the lesson. So for the devotees, especially, the devotees are requesting Krishna, my dear Lord Krishna. I don't want to be, I want to be your servant. Krishna says, okay. So then Krishna, he goes about the task of reforming the souls of this world who want to be reformed. And part of that process is, an essential part of that process is to become free from the false ego. The false ego which wants to take credit for everything. So Krishna gives us so many opportunities to be humbled. And the Shastras are full of lessons of people that are almost unlimitedly more qualified than the people of Kali Yuga, and they become bewildered by different things. Indra is a classic example. So many examples in the Shastra of Indra getting it wrong. Yes? Talk about getting it wrong. As glorious as he is, king of the gods, what does it take to get that position? Extremely qualified. And he becomes totally bewildered because he has so much power, In an assembly of the gods, he's especially noted. Oh, Indra is here. Everyone shows a lot of respect. It's Indra. And always, they're called panegyrists, isn't it? They come and they're glorifying Indra, singing of his glories, how he achieved victory over the demons, how he's performing this most outstanding function on behalf of the Lord. So imagine hearing your praises all the time. You walk into the assembly, everyone bows down, the Apsaras are dancing for you, the Gandharvas, who are gods themselves, practically, they're higher beings, are composing music for you. People are praising your glories. And then you're supposed to say, stay humble amidst all of that. Yes? If anyone says anything in glorification of any conditioned soul, immediately the head inflates, and the person, that's true, I am this and that. What's our technique on Sankirtan? One of the techniques we use, which is a nice technique, and it's, it's showing appreciation. We appreciate something about a person. Yes? I like you got nice vibes, you got nice energy. And immediately people feel good. People feel satisfied. And maybe the false ego inflates a little bit. You look peaceful. Are you doing some meditation? Yeah, I do a little meditation. It's working. The person feels accomplished, yes? So imagine all day, for your whole life, everyone is just glorifying you. So you become bewildered. You become confused. Very confused. Huh? That you don't recognize the Supreme Master. But think, I'm the controller. And then Krishna comes and he foils your plan. Yes? You're accustomed to receiving all these offerings. You're accustomed to the glorification, and you're accustomed to the offerings. And suddenly some blue boy, attractive blue boy, is speaking some karma mimamsa philosophy, some nonsensical philosophy, and convincing the adults that no need to worship that guy. The rain will come anyway, whether you worship him or not. Indra became infuriated. And he didn't become bewildered, he became mad. He tried to kill the purest devotees in existence. There's no one more glorious than the Brajbal. He tried to kill them. That's the great, we think if you think ill of another devotee, that's not good. You don't get a consequence for it immediately because it's Kali Yuga. We're not responsible for our thoughts. Thank you, Krishna. Yes? If you speak some ill, you get a consequence. If you act in an ill way, that's a higher stage of negative consequence that you'll do. If you try to kill a devotee, kill a pure devotee, consequences. That's how bewildered he became. And then Krishna humbled him. Krishna rectified him, brought him back to his senses. And then he was reposted in his position. And sometime later, he learned his lesson, right? Indra learned his lesson? No, he still didn't learn his lesson. Because the rectification was mixed with some desire. Oh, I gotta correct this. I really messed up this time, but I gotta correct this because I don't want to lose my position. Not because I want to be a pure devotee. I accept the rectification because I accept it happily because I want to be a pure devotee. I don't want to be free. I don't want to be burdened anymore by my false ego, by my foolish activities, by my foolish mode of thinking. So I accept Krishna's rectification because I want to be a pure devotee. But Indra, his desire to be a pure devotee was mixed with his desire for the position of Indra. Oh no, why my position is threatened here. And Indra has that as a common theme. He sees some sage performing too much austerity and becoming qualified. He says, oh no, this person's going to steal my position. Attachment to position. Yes? And therefore he sends some apsara to bewilder the sage. Some person is trying to perform austerities, trying to make some progress in life. And sometimes they could care less about Indra's stealing Indra's position. They don't care. Maybe they're on a different mode, have a different purpose. He sends some apsara to bewilder them. He feels his position is threatened. So everyone in this world, nadanam, najalam, nasundarim, everyone is holding on for dear life to these things, which are the source of bondage. I want to enjoy beautiful women. Yes, this is so deep rooted in the heart, because this is especially the activity by which I imitate Krishna. Yes, Krishna is the enjoyer of unlimited beautiful women. So that's how I'll imitate Krishna, by enjoying beautiful women. Good luck with that. How that explodes in one's face by Krishna's kindness, his mercy. Because we living entities, it's not our natural position. It's unnatural. Tiny souls were meant to act as servants. So when the tiny, Keshagra Shatabhagasya, 1/10,000th the size of a tip of a hair, is trying to imitate the unlimited soul, Ananta, the unlimited soul. What could possibly go wrong? So that's what goes wrong. It flows up in our face. That's one of the ways. Nadanam, najanam. I want followers. I want to be adored. I want to be appreciated. I want prestige. Yes? But that's also a great burden for souls. People want to become famous. People want to be adored. And when they get the position of fame and adoration, how does that work out for them? It's a great anxiety in most cases. Most cases. Who can handle fame? And then your life becomes very restricted. You can't go out in public so much. Everywhere you go, everyone's gawking over you. Some of the people are appreciated, and other people are envious of you. You get all of this envious vibration directed towards you, and people are hoping that you fail. Yes, this is the material world. Someone is elevated to a position of prominence, is being appreciated and adored by others. And because conditioned soul, I wish I was being appreciated. Why should this person be appreciated? And then when they hear that that person has some fault, some defect, some fall down, some, discrepancy, their position was, they take great pleasure in that. Just like previously, there was some time back when we were just in the 80s, there was a very popular football player, very prominent. And then he did something horrendous. He killed his spouse. And it was front page news, and there was a trial, the trial of this famous football player. It was going on for a long time, I forget, like weeks. And everyone was just immersed in watching how this person who had been so prominent, so appreciated, so glorified was getting torn down, And a lot of people were relishing that. I knew he wasn't a good person, you see? And they were relishing the fact that he got torn down. So that's fame. Jana, followers. People are aspiring for that, wishing they had that, because they're not paying attention. What does it mean to have that position? It means that your life will get complicated in many ways. So the great devotees, not at all interested in position. They learn. They learn based on experience. They see what's happening to other people who have position. How are they doing? Oh, it doesn't look so attractive to me. This is intelligence. Intelligence means to hear from the Shastra and learn the lessons, and also to learn from our own experiences. How certain experiences in life bring us unhappiness, bring us pain, and then to learn the lesson. Oh, I'm not going to walk down that path anymore. Right? But the tendency of the mind is that although we walk down a certain path or we engage in certain activities and it brings us pain, the mind again pushes us, the senses again push us to do the same stupid thing. Yes. Until someone has a higher taste and is able to lose attraction for those things. And that's an ongoing process, right? Some days we have a higher taste and I'm not attracted to that thing. And on the days where we don't have a higher taste, suddenly our mind and senses are pulled towards that which we know will cause us pain. We know will not satisfy us, but we're pushed. The senses are so strong and impetuous that they forcibly carry away the mind, even of a man of discrimination who's endeavoring to control him. Even one of the senses on which the mind focuses can carry away the mind of a man, just as a wind can sweep away a boat on the water, isn't it? So Krishna advises that the yogi withdraws their senses, brings their senses internal when the senses don't need to be engaged externally. And especially now in modern life where we're surrounded by all sorts of pullings and temptations, and one has to really very rigidly keep the senses in check. Now the senses need to be internalized. Don't let the senses wander. When you're walking around Govardhan Hill, you can let your senses kind of roam a little bit, Let me appreciate the beauty of Govardhan. Let me hear the kirtan of the sadhus around Govardhan Hill. Then that's the benefit of a holy place. But in the West, or in materialistic places, one has to very rigidly regulate the senses. Otherwise, we learn from our own experience and we learn from the mistakes of others. Yes? We don't have to only learn from our mistakes. We learn from the mistakes of others. This is the advantage of being in the Hare Krishna movement now as opposed to a long time ago. Long time ago, the devotees didn't have the benefit, unfortunately, of learning from other people's mistakes. Yes? But after some time, they said, okay, this is what that devotee did wrong. Let me avoid that. And it's kind of the typical same mistakes again and again. This devotee became attached to their position, proud of their position, and look what happened to them. Punar Mushikabhav. Krishna elevated them to the position of a lion, and then Krishna, oh, you're becoming proud. That's no good. Pride will prevent you from devotional service. Punar Mushikabhav. Again, become a mouse. In order that the person benefits, so I can learn from that. Don't make that mistake. What mistake did this person make? Once met a sannyasi, ex-sannyasi, and he was saying that, when I see a beautiful woman, I just try to appreciate how Krishna is in the beauty of a woman. I try to appreciate it. Bad. I don't recall reading anything like that as a recommended process in the Shastra. Seeing Krishna in the beauty of a woman. No, that's not a sannyasi anymore. So we learn from the mistakes of others. And the primary mistake is this pride. This is the primary mistake. Taking pride in whatever gift, whatever qualification we might have. First of all, keep the perspective. It's nothing compared to our real identity. It's insignificant. And it's insignificant compared to the qualification of others, right? If I think, I'm a little smart. Look, in our movement, we have geniuses, people with empowered intelligence, and you hear them and you think, I don't think I ever want to give a class again, but no, I'm a spider. I'm allowed to serve Lord Ram by throwing some rocks into, so I should do my seva, right? So we see people who are empowered in all different areas, and that keeps giving us some ability to keep things in perspective, of not to become too proud, and to recognize that whatever gift Krishna is giving me, it's a gift from Krishna. And just as it's given, it can be withdrawn in a moment by Krishna's will. So this pride is extremely dangerous. Therefore, Mahaprabhu has again and again emphasized, Trinadapi Sunichena. Maintain an attitude of humility. Because with pride comes the feeling I'm better than others. And if I'm better than others, then I can criticize others. So I'm in a position and look at these other people, not as qualified as me. Yes? It destroys the very healthy habit and natural tendency to appreciate others. Yes? Which is the quality of Krishna. Krishna is the appreciator of the good qualities of other souls. And he never finds the faults in others. Adosha dakshi. That's Krishna's quality. So this pride is especially dangerous. It's dangerous for us. It's dangerous for Indra. It's dangerous for Brahma. It's dangerous for everyone who's infected by it. And the Shastras are full of examples, just like the wives of the husbands, the Brahmins, the ritualistic Brahmins. Their wives were pure devotees, but they were not. They were simply puffed up with all of their Brahminical learning and all of their understanding, so-called understanding of Shastra, and the ability to do yajna, and society appreciating them, adoring them. Oh, let's go to the Brahmanas. My dear Brahmana, please advise me. What do I do next? What should I do? They became puffed up by their position. Then Krishna, God himself, comes in the form of his friends. He said, Krishna's there if he wants some food. Will you make an offer? Can you give some of the offering to him? No, this offering is for Vishnu, not for Krishna. We're doing an offering. Get away. They didn't even give the respect of the words. So puffed up that they lost their perspective. So each soul has their part to play. Just like Maharaj gives the example of a symphony. So the spiritual world is like a beautiful symphony of offerings to Krishna. You have the gopis, you have the cowherd boys, you have the so-called elder gopas and gopis who have the parental love for Krishna. You have the servants of the Lord. You have Krishna's little cowherd boyfriends, that just tag along with him and feel great anguish of separation when he's away from them for a moment. Then you have the trees and the grass and the plants and the birds and the deer and all of the living entities in the spiritual world, and all of them are playing their part, fully satisfied. No one is thinking, oh, what's my insignificant part? Or I wish I had, no, they're totally satisfied in their offering. Just like in a grand symphony, you've got the person, the master chief violinist. I don't know about symphonies, but more or less, you've got someone who's the main violinist, and you've got all the other violinists. You've got the main piano player, and then there's some guy in the symphony that might just have that little triangle where ding, but that also that adds to the beauty of the symphony. And Krishna relishes the individual services of every little tiny soul. Relishes it in the same way he relishes the beautiful offerings of the most qualified souls who are doing, incredible, powerful, uh, types of services. So we're just trying to come back to that position. That's all. We're trying to come back to our natural position of being part of that beautiful symphony of service to the Lord. And in that position, Prabhupada says here so nicely, we'll end with this. This ascertained knowledge of the living being leads to loving service to the Lord, which the living being requires. This is the thing that the soul requires. Not everything else. The soul just needs this one thing, the reconnection with Krishna. Then all problems are solved. Everything's provided. We're imagining, I need this, I need that. No, we need this one thing. This is Sanatana Dharma. This is the process of giving the soul the one thing that the soul absolutely requires. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Any questions or reflections? Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, my question is in relation to this Lord intro last time. So Krishna, like when the demons come to Vrindavan, they want to specifically kill Krishna, and Krishna, violently kills the demons. But Indra, it seems that's a greater offense. He wants to kill everybody, kill the devotees, and Krishna doesn't kill anybody. He doesn't even fight him. So, why is that?
It's a good question.
Well, he thought about it. It's much in the Bhagavatam. He thought, I'll just kill him. And he thought, nah, I'll just punish him. The thought came, just, I'll just kill him. And I'll humble him. Because he's a devotee. But he's Sakama.
Sakama devotee.
And he's a good manager. There was that one time when he became a pig. And Brahma came down and said, hey, management is not going to do it. So I got my family, I got my kids. Then he killed and removed the illusion, and all right, go back.
And even after being rectified by Krishna, Govardhan Lila, later Krishna went to, get a flower for Satyabhama, wasn't it? And Indra challenged him. No, you can't shake flowers from this heavenly planet. He challenged him. And Shukadeva Goswami is narrating the pastime, and Shukadeva Goswami is stunned. He announced, what ignorance there is amongst the gods.
Yeah.
Prabhu.
But also, let's kind of intrigued by this, that demigods, they offer prayers to Krishna. And he was in the womb of therapy. Later on, there are some incidents with demigods, like there is Krishna, Kuni, Shiva, Indra, trying to. And actually, Indra and demigods, they were fighting Krishna, and he took the flower for his screen. And this summer I was reading Gopal Champu by Jiva Goswami, and he says that demigods, they are okay. But they are all servitors, Krishna. And in devotion, they are classified as being fixed in dasyavas. It's very interesting. But Jiva Goswami, he says that demigods are acting in such ways because they are inspired by Krishna. And what can they do? Well, Krishna tells them, okay, now you fight with me. They know that that's not gonna end good. They'll be humiliated, but still they do it. Also another example could be Prabhu just hitting Lord Vishnu on the chest with his foot. And that's quite offensive. And the Lord acted quite humbly. But Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, he explains in Chaitanya Bhagavatam commentary, he explains that actually it was inspired by Krishna, and what could Prabhu do in all this his own direction. And so practically Krishna is using all these devotees to teach other people. They should not, but actually they're devotees. And everything comes to happy end because it was Krishna's plan. Now you turn against me. Even Prahlad Maharaj was fighting the Lord. That's an instance. Of course, somebody challenged him and he was fighting. Then he realized this Lord, or Jambala, was fighting for Lord Ram. And then Krishna came, and then he was fighting over some significant jewel, which was very powerful too. But still, it was kind of, it's very special when devotees do something wrong, they are not highest level. There's always some mercy of Krishna there.
Great point. Without the commentaries of the acharyas, and that perspective is like on a surface level of what's going on. It seems it doesn't make sense. But when you get the commentaries of the acharyas, they clarify everything. That Krishna is using his servants for his purpose of, first of all, enjoying Leela, and second of all, to educate others, and possibly other purposes as well. In the case of Indra and the Govardhan Leela, was that inspired by Krishna, or was it just strictly?
That's what Jiva Goswami says.
Oh, specifically in that case.
Yeah.
Indra attacking the residents of Braj. So that's kind of an answer to your question. It wasn't just Indra of his own accord, just manifesting madness and trying to kill, innocent village, even from his perspective, innocent residents of the village who went against him. It was somehow the whole thing was inspired by Krishna, so he formed the Leela and teach lessons to Indra, teach lessons to others as well. So many lessons are there in the Leela. But thank you.
So I just want to add, I was just listening.
Yeah, please.
So there's a verse in kind of 10:25, 21, I think, where Indra is hurling kind of an insult to Krishna. He says, Vachalam, Balisham, Saptam, Agya, Pandita Mandina. He gives these 5 rebukes towards Krishna. But Mother Saraswati, and Srila Swami comments, and he says, Mother Saraswati is afraid to take these words as it is to Krishna. So she changes the meaning slightly. So when Indra says Balisham, he says, who's this childish personality who thinks of himself? So and Mother Saraswati transfers it to childlike, very adorable, very enduring. And Stabdam is like very stubborn, but he says he's very uh, a good shelter for someone because he's unmovable. So Vachalam, Balisham, Vachalam is talkative, but she changes it as that you can speak so much about him. He has so many glorious qualities that you can glorify him continuously. So Vachalam, Balisham, Stabda. Agya is agya, like ignorant. That's what Indra wanted to convey. But Krishna gave him benefit of doubt and took it as gya is knowledge, is no, like to negate. So there's nothing that he does not already know. So agya. And Pandita Mahina is, he thinks of himself arrogant, thinks of himself to be a Pandit. But Krishna took it as the Pandits think highly of him. Pandita Mahina. So Krishna is willing to give benefit of doubt to his devotees. And they also comment that when the Govardhan Leela was happening, although his intent was to kill the Vrajavasis, he indirectly gave them 24/7 darshan of the Lord. Earlier, it would be only the Gopas during the day and then the Gopis during the night. But he inadvertently or unknowingly gave them 24/7 darshan of Krishna. So he got the Sukriti for those activities. That's why Krishna forgave him after the event. So
That isn't in the commentary in the 10th canto as well, or where did you get that?
oh, that was from a class I wrote. I don't remember the reference, but I will
In
get
the purport of that verse.
the Sridhar Swami's commentaries in the
10:25,000.
1025. But
The part about 24/7 darshan.
no, the 5.
Yeah. So go ahead. Thank you. So nice. Appreciate it. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna, Krishna,
These nice things that
Krishna.
I don't know, Prabhu, I don't know anything. I wish I can learn this from.
it's very nice. I mean, she should follow for the
Oh yes,
she should follow. It's also glorifying Krishna.